You've clicked on this video because you want some help with building your camera speaking confidence. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can go from where you are right now and increase your skills, maybe even double in just a matter of minutes. And the way I'm gonna teach you that is through a system that I call the 3 T's to accelerating camera confidence. And the first T, which will help you go from 0 to 30% better in camera confidence, is something I like to call tools. So the first thing you're gonna want is tools. So what do I mean? Well, the psychologists, they call this thing cognitive load. I'm gonna call it cog load. And when you have cognitive load, you have a bunch of things. Basically, it's a bunch of things in your brain that your brain has to do in order for you to communicate what you want to communicate. So you might have your content, so your actual script. You might have your, how you're gonna structure it, what you're gonna say next. And then you have other things like clearly speaking and clearly writing as well, for me. And you got all these different tasks that you gotta do when you communicate to camera. And if you had a tool, and I'm gonna show you a tool in a minute, to take care of this problem, you would have a lighter cognitive load and you'd be able to feel more confident and deliver clearer. I promise you that. And so the tool that we're gonna look at, we've got 2 of them. The first one is a little device and a little app called Instagram Edits. So you can grab your iPhone right now, and if you open up the Instagram Edits app, you'll be able to see that there is a function called Teleprompter. And what you're gonna wanna do is take your script and place it in the teleprompter space on the Edits app. The other thing that would be a great tool for you to use is something called a teleprompter, and it basically just sits in front of your lens, and it has a little device that reflects into here, and that attaches to your actual camera body. I love using a teleprompter, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. I remember when I started my creative agency and I was taking on some of my first clients, I was working with high-level CEOs of, say, not-for-profits, for example. And while I knew they were absolutely fantastic at doing their job as CEOs, one of the things that they struggled with the most was the ability to deliver all of that information and all of that capacity in their role when they were in front of the camera. And one of the best things to help them with that was this teleprompter. That's something that I promise you will take you from absolute no idea how to communicate to camera to about 30% or 30 out of 100 in terms of skill set. I'm about to reveal to you the next thing we can do, the next T of my acceleration, confidence acceleration here. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight as to who I am. So you may have clicked onto this. Who's this random guy, Filipino looking guy with an Australian accent? My name is Vin Gulay. Right now, I do a role as a pastor on platforms quite a lot in my day job as, in the form of preaching or leading rooms in that regard. And so I really do understand what it feels like to be a fantastic, and maybe this is you're a fantastic public speaker, but when you're in front of this lens, things shift and things change tremendously when it comes to your communication. So if that interests you, why don't you subscribe to the channel? But let's get into the next T. So the next T of this triangle that I think will take you from 30 to 60 out of 100 is something that I love to call time. And I know it's not as straightforward as the first one. So with the first one, you could probably improve, and in 5 minutes, you're 30% better. This one is time, and that's a clock. So here's the thing. As you do these reps, as you do more of these videos like I am to this camera today, you're gonna get more reps. And the more reps you get in, similar to when you're in the gym, yep, that's right, this is a barbell. When you're in the gym, you're probably not so happy as this guy, but you get those reps and you become stronger as you lift that weight up and down. And so I have another channel somewhere else on YouTube. And I remember when I shot that first video, oh my gosh, it was 7 minutes of content and it took me about 6 hours to film. Why? Because it was my first time speaking to a camera, speaking to a lens in a quiet room. It was so hard. What you're gonna wanna do is spend a lot of time getting those reps in and just using the tool. But I promise you that if you use the right tools in conjunction with more and more and more reps, you will become better and more confident at speaking on camera. Now, there is one more T, and that is working with the right teachers. You've got to have the right teachers to help you improve your skills when it comes to your tone, your pace, using silence. I don't use silence that much. Now, Vin, where are the right teachers? Well, one of them is right in front of you right now, if I do say so myself. But there are so many great communicators and communication teachers right here on YouTube. I encourage you to jump on and find out. Now, we also have great communication teachers on Instagram, and I would highly recommend for those bite-sized amounts, checking out those teachers. There are two communicators I want to share with you today. One of them you can find at Ask Vin. Ask Vin is, like me, another Asian guy from Australia, I believe from Adelaide, but Vin is such a great communication teacher, and I have him to thank for so many of the things that I've learned about communicating. I'm nowhere near the level of expert that he is, but I can tell you, I'm someone who has benefited from great teaching. The other person I'd love for you to check out, and I'm not sure if she has a channel of her own, but it was on the Craig Groeschel Leadership Podcast. A woman by the name of Vanessa Van Edwards, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. She is a fantastic body language communicator. And so I would really recommend that if you're someone who has a message they want to communicate, but have been hesitant because you don't have the confidence skills yet when it comes to speaking on camera in a quiet room when no one's around, I highly recommend that you check out Vin and that podcast with Vanessa and more of their content. Because I think that if you do these things, if you use the right tools to help you get started and move yourself from, you know, very low on the skill chain like I was, or from wherever you are now, and we use things like teleprompters from Desview or the Instagram apps, we can get so much better. And then with time, if we do more reps, we can get to another level again. So it's just a matter of producing those videos, shooting those videos, getting those reps in, even when you're only at this point here, even when you're only at 30% or 30 out of 100, that will move you to 60 and then to refine. And this is something that I'm personally doing too, is I'm learning about this all the time as well, not only for my platform speaking, but also for my teaching here on this YouTube platform, is working with the right teachers so we can get to 100 out of 100 in terms of speaking. And so I really hope that that gives you a good idea of how you can go from zero or almost no experience to getting a really clean, good rep in using your teleprompter, which can be found in your free Edits app by Instagram. And so what I'd highly recommend you do today is, if you're someone who's got a message worth sharing, I highly recommend you download that Edits app for free today and start using that teleprompter function. But what you're gonna find is that your videos and your content are gonna hit real hard if you have a really great opening line. Some people call this a hook. And so if you need help with generating a hook, I have a free hook generation prompt that you can pop into ChatGPT. You can find that in a link in the description below this video, and that'll help you get started with making your first videos. But if you want somewhere that you can put that video that's going to have tremendous impact, certainly from 2026 and beyond, I highly recommend starting a YouTube channel with me here on YouTube. And you can learn more about how you can do that by simply checking out this video that helps you get started. And I will see you there.